Hey everyone, happy Friday, happy Friday. What a blessing it is to be alive and well and here to jump on and join you on this faithful Friday. This has been a week, a week where I was able to get a lot of things done. I know this morning I had kind of contemplated with getting on, and that's just me being transparent because I had had a rough week. I had had a rough start to my morning, and I was like, you know what? I'll just do it again next week. But we have to be obedient when God tells us to do something, and I know that God was definitely nudging my spirit that it was needed. And sometimes we encourage ourselves by encouraging others. But it's been a good week. I'm here in the Midwest. If you're in the Midwest, we've had a little sprinkle of snow this morning, and so yeah, I was looking out that window like, here you go again, because when we have been getting snow this year here in the Midwest, it's just a little bit. I mean, I'm talking about just a tap and then it's gone. Not enough to really even last a day or two, but neither here nor there. I'm still grateful to be alive and to be able to jump on and join you on today. I know the Nuggets were all over the place this week. The Nuggets were good. But when I even started to jot down some things that I was absorbing through the week for Faithful Friday, it was just God dealing with me on patience. And I had talked about last week, taking captive our inner thoughts, because our inner thoughts will try to take us out. Trust me, this week, as soon as I speak on something, it's almost guaranteed that I will go through some things to challenge me in the area that I have encouraged. And so just taking our inner thoughts captive, giving those things to God that we can't do anything about. I'm integral in my life and trying to make sure that I do the right thing, even when no one's watching. But even when you're trying to do the right thing, sometimes life will try to frustrate you and make you think you're not doing enough. Or it will make you think that, what you're doing is in vain. And I have to fight those thoughts sometimes to just say that God has made me sufficient for the journey that he has me on. And so I really have to just, really shout out this week that God was faithful in helping me to grab a hold of my thoughts at times when I felt myself just spiraling. I felt myself just not in the best mood. I felt myself just being on a roller coaster ride. And some days ready to go all in and some days ready to give up. God's grace and mercy is just so good, and how he protects us from those things that are seen and unseen that are of danger to us. And then God just even dealing with me this week about commitment, being committed. Commitment. If you're not committed, you'll never start. It doesn't matter if the top of the year comes. It doesn't matter if we count down, hey, and I think we're at 11 days. Yeah, 11 days. We'll be at the top of 2025, and you can start to see the post spring forward that this is what you're not going to deal with in 2025. This is how you're going to go hard in 2025 and give it all that you got. But commitment starts right now. Commitment for me started in me being faithful to those things that God has called me to do. Commitment for you is you being faithful in those things that God has called you to do, whether it looks good, it feels good, you want to, you don't want to. It's doing it even on the days you don't want to do it, And then just knowing that, without consistency, you'll never finish. So you have to be consistent. Some things you may have to do them over and over and over again until you become consistent or disciplined. I know one of the discipline things for me has always been the gym. I'll start the gym, I'll go for a little bit, and then I won't go no more. I just go on a hiatus. I'm like, okay, I'll get back started. I missed a couple of weeks. It's not even going to matter. But this year, I can honestly say I stayed committed to the health journey. I stayed committed to making sure I went to the gym, whether I saw results or I didn't see results. Sometimes I was just going to the gym to make sure I didn't pick up any extra. As certain seasons can hit us and we're eating more than, we should be. And we got to make sure that, we're staying helpful. We're staying healthy because in order to get some things in life, sometimes you've got to be in a good health state. You've got to be committed to making sure that you're running, you're walking, that you're getting some exercise in. And so that's one of the things I've done my hardest, and I feel good about it, staying committed to the gym journey this year. I went when I felt like it. I went when I didn't feel like it. I rarely will post about it because for me, it's an accountability for myself. I don't have to prove anything to anybody that I went to the gym. I don't have to let anybody know. I just know that that alarm clock dings every day at 6 o'clock. I'm going to get up. I'm going to command my morning. And after that, I'm going to go to that gym. And if I don't make it in the morning, I'm going at night. You know, we've been talking about that in the month of December. Just dare to do it, December. And so you can best believe I was challenged in the areas of daring to do it. Like, you know, put it off for later. You don't have to do it right now, but I dared myself in a lot of areas to just do it, to just get it done. I know, you know, I finally finished up the book that I was reading by Tasha Cobb. It was called Do It Anyway. So that was even kind of, God is so strategic in the things that he has you read that align with the vision that he has gave you. But she just talked about always examining. And that was one of her final thoughts, always examining your posture of your heart before you make a move. And I know that's a big one for me right now. I have to always make sure I examine my posture. I have to always make sure I examine the way that I respond to others. I have to make sure that at the end of the day, I can lay down and have peace over the choices I've made, over the conversations that I've had, over the interactions that I've had with others. You know, before I make any move in my life, I want to make sure that it's a God-approved move. I do. Because a lot of times we make moves and we just do them out of our emotions. We do them based off of the way that we feel. That's a big thing when it comes to health. A lot of times people eat based off the way that they feel. If they're in a happy mood, they eat a ton. Sometimes if they're not in a not so happy mood, they won't eat much. You don't want to, you know, you just don't want to ever move towards a purpose without a word from God, just letting you know you're next. I'm very, very adamant about God showing me my next, because I don't want to do anything outside of the will. That took a long time for me to pray the prayer of, Lord, not my will, but your will be done. Because we can be selfish. I think I even touched on that one day this week, of just talking about us, you know, getting to a place of being happy with God for meeting our needs, for giving us those things that we need. And I was talking to, I want to say, my daughter, and we were just talking about, and I was telling her, you know, we're in a position now when we travel, when we go places, we're looking for the best hotel, we're looking for the best accommodations. And I was just, you know, sharing with her, giving her a little history of how I grew up, and how when we would travel as, as kids, and how when we went to our family house for the holidays, and my family lived in Mississippi, but when we would go down for the holidays, you know, you were happy to just get your pallet in your corner and figure out, you know, where your stuff was going to be propped up for the week. And everybody came to grandma's house. Everybody came there. You got along. Whatever grandma cooked or whoever was cooking that day, you ate it. Like, there wasn't all these specifics that I want to eat this and I want to go there. You were happy just to even go outside. And so, you know, realizing that as we've gotten older, our appetites, our budgets, our outlook on life has gotten a little bit bigger. And sometimes we forget where we came from. And so I just told her, I said, I'm just grateful for the time that I grew up in, to be able to, you know that there's been a time that I've had, and there's been a time that I've had not. There's a time when I've had a lot, and there's a time when I've had a little, and just learning to be grateful in all seasons. Because one thing that I am always confident of is that God has always made sure that I had what I needed. And that's just what God being faithful is all about. When we start on Mondays, we don't know what the week's going to look like. Sometimes we don't even know how we're going to get through all the days and those things that we need to do. But we can rest assured that if we're here to see Friday and we started on Monday, God was faithful to us, and he got us through every moment that mattered. And so it's the disconnect for most. A lot of people are starting to go out on their holiday vacations, do some things that your future self will thank you for, even if it's just getting some rest, spending time with family, spending time with close friends. Do not, I repeat, do not let this holiday stress you out. Don't even take time to run around Christmas Eve all night long to get last minute gifts. You know, love is the best gift that you can give. Sharing love, making memories, in doing some things that your future self will thank you for. So make sure if you're out and about over the next few days, the next week, that you're letting your light shine. You're being transparent with those people that God trusts you to be transparent with. Why? Because your transparency does lead to others being transformed. Sometimes just sharing your testimony will lead to others being transformed by hearing your story. Make sure that you let your light shine. Make sure. Sometimes people need a hug. Sometimes they need a smile. Sometimes they need an encouraging word. And sometimes, a lot of times when people say, will you pray for me? They're needing you to pray right now. So just stop and have that moment. Take time up with others, because that's the most important thing that we can do. But again, this has been your girl 7. I'll be back on next week. I don't know how committed I'm going to be next week, because I'm definitely planning to disconnect and rest. But have a great weekend. Have an amazing weekend. Learn to enjoy the small things. And this, again, I'll see you soon.